Good afternoon. My name is Crystal Brown with a BSU News Brief. American-born radical Islamic cleric Anwar al-Awlaki was killed today in an airstrike by a CIA drone. He's the most high-profile al-Qaeda to be killed since bin Laden's death in May. ABC's Karen Travers files this report.
U.S. officials considered Anwar al-Awlaki to be the world's most dangerous man. Today, he's the latest high-profile terrorist target taken out by the CIA and U.S. military. Al-Awlaki, an American citizen and the head of al-Qaeda in Yemen, was killed today in a drone strike there.
The death of al-Awlaki marks another significant milestone in the broader effort to defeat al-Qaeda and its affiliates.
Officials say the fiery cleric had been aggressively pushing for al-Qaeda to conduct attacks aimed at the U.S. and recruiting would-be terrorists online.
So never underestimate the power of fear, especially when the enemy of Allah hears Allahu Akbar.
U.S. officials say that al-Awlaki was in direct contact with the Fort Hood shooter before the November 2009 massacre. They say al-Awlaki also personally advised the so-called underwear bomber before his thwarted mission to blow up an American plane over Detroit on Christmas Day 2009.
And also he was the main recruiter, so the most charismatic leader, much more dangerous than bin Laden over the last several years, and he was obsessed with attacking the United States.
The U.S. has been trying to kill or capture the 38-year-old cleric for almost 2 years, but he was never charged with a crime. Today, the White House refused to explain its legal justification for al-Awlaki's assassination without a trial.
I'm not going to speak hypothetically, and I'm not going to speak about the circumstances of his death.
U.S. intelligence and law enforcement officials are very concerned about revenge attacks, retaliation for al-Awlaki's death. Sources say the government remains at a state of heightened alert and that security efforts had not been fully reduced since the scares of the 9/11 anniversary. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
Good afternoon. This is Crystal Brown with the BSU News Report. With his wife back in Washington, there's growing speculation that Congressman Anthony Weiner will soon make a decision about his future in the House. His fellow Democrats continue to press for his resignation, and even House Speaker John Boehner, who has stayed out of the story, called for him to step down. ABC's Karen Travers has the latest from Washington.
Huma Abedin, the wife of beleaguered Congressman Anthony Weiner, arrived home in Washington in the middle of the night. Sources tell ABC News that Weiner has been on the fence about resigning. He was waiting for his wife to return from an overseas trip with her boss, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, before making any decision.
They're hearing that he might resign in a couple of days.
Weiner has been out of the public eye since Saturday. His office has not revealed any details about where he is and what he's seeking treatment for. He was given a temporary leave of absence from his job.
And Mr. Weiner for a period of 2 weeks.
But he was still front and center on Capitol Hill yesterday. As House Democrats gathered for their weekly meeting, some members clearly wanted to avoid the topic.
I wish you would come to my district and Ohio and deal with the unemployment.
Others called for him to step down.
Should he resign? My answer is yes.
I think he should resign.
In their closed-door meeting, House Democrats decided against taking any action against their colleague. Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi reiterated her call for Weiner to step down. But the rest of the meeting focused on gas prices.
We spent almost the entire time talking about the American public being gouged at the gas pump.
Earlier this week, President Obama made it clear where he stands.
If it was me, I would resign.
But the president stopped short of calling for Weiner to step down. Top Democrats say the scandal is a distraction from the debate they want to have with Republicans over Medicare and the economy. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.